As the countdown begins for Oscars 2025, we take a look at all the top nominees for the 97th Academy Awards. Meet Indian actor and filmmaker Boman Irani as he talks about the Mehta Boys. And know the unknown about Justin Bieber as he turns a year older. All this and much more with me, Diksha Bisla, on WION Club at these times.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yowon.com.
This week on the West Asia Post, US President Donald Trump shares an AI-made version of a Gaza trailer, showing Trump Gaza resort, while newborn Palestinian babies die from extreme cold in the war-torn enclave. Amid fears of a joint US-Israel attack on its nuclear sites, Iran continues to be on high alert. UN atomic watchdog says Iran enriching its uranium to weapon-grade level. Also on the show, we talk about Israel's plan to demilitarize Syria and Syria's plans for its future. Catch the West Asia Post only on WION World is One.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
विराट कोहली बहुत अच्छे से खेला, ये इसी तरीके से खेलते रहो।
बहुत अच्छा लगा मैच देख के, इंडिया जीत गई, कोहली का भी सेंचुरी हो गया, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
पाकिस्तान को थोड़ी अपनी
We're always praying for Pakistan's success, but prayers alone aren't enough. We need to focus on improving our performance. It's time for us to take responsibility and work on our game.
हमें अपनी परफॉर्मेंस पे काम करना चाहिए।
भरपूर मेहनत की, आपने बात कही, मेहनत कहाँ थी?
You talked about hard work. Where was the hard work? They were fielding as if watching a show. They did not work hard. They had no skill. That is why we supported India. Kohli had been out of form. We knew he would score a century against Pakistan. He is king. He did play like a king.
हमें पता था ये पाकिस्तान के सामने आएगा, ये अपनी फॉर्म में वापस आएगा, सेंचुरी मारेगा। वो उसको हम कहते हैं किंग। वो खेला है, वो नजर आ रहा है कि किंग खेलता कैसे, किंग बोलते किसको है।
It was a disappointing end for Pakistan as they crashed out of the ICC Champions Trophy. Calls peak for a complete overhaul of the Pakistani cricket team. Hello there, you are watching Inside South Asia with me, Dasuni Athauda, and let's take a look at what we have in store for you this week. The first phase of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas will draw to a close on the 1st of March. 50 hostages still remain in Hamas custody. Amongst them is Bipin Joshi, a Nepali student of agriculture who was in Israel when the attack happened on the 7th of October in 2023. His friends in Israel, as well as his family back home, pray for his safe return soon.
CCTV footage from kibbutz cameras of Hamas militants taking away Bipin Joshi on the 7th of October. Another piece of CCTV footage, this one is from the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza, of Bipin Joshi being dragged in. The date is not known. The two videos are the last time the bright-eyed youth from Nepal was seen. Joshi's friends and batchmates at Israel's Hebrew University have vivid memories of that day. Many were shot, many died. Bipin was the only one abducted.
They broke the lock and they came inside and they just shoot at us. And due to that, 5 of us, our friend got killed. They got murdered and 2 of us got injured. I got 3 shots. I got on my chest, here, and on my finger. And they took Bipin. He's more than a friend to me, and I lived with him for 4 years when we were doing our first degree. And he taught me a lot of things.
Gad Sperer, resident of the kibbutz, was responsible for the Thai and Nepali students at the time of the October 7 attack. The residence itself was completely burned down during the assault. He remembers dead bodies strewn around. The nightmare that Sperer and the students staying there went through together brought them closer. It's been prayers and hope since.
Hamas threw a grenade into the shelter. and Bipin noticed it. I don't know how he knew what a grenade was. I don't think he has been in the army or anything. But he threw the grenade back outside, and then they threw another one. It exploded inside, and several of them were injured.
Back home in Nepal, the family of Bipin Joshi frequently hosts gatherings at their home. Friends and loved ones uniting in prayer that he will be released soon. They've gone on for the last year and 4 months. Bipin was not on the hostage release list through phase 1 of the ceasefire. So many ifs persist, so many hopes and prayers, knowing full well that they themselves have no say in all that's happening.
Amidst a barrage of news coming from Afghanistan regarding the trampling and stifling of women's rights in the country, there seems to be a breath of fresh air. A green light has been granted once again to a women's radio channel run by women, which was earlier pulled off. However, this time the green light comes amidst serious clippings to their freedoms. Is this a move towards a positive direction amidst all the trouble that is currently being experienced by women in Afghanistan? Here's more.
Giving women a voice in a country where their rights, their freedoms have been silenced, trodden on, stifled. Radio Begum, a rare functioning relic of pre-Taliban Afghanistan, is up and running again. Taliban's Ministry of Information and Culture has lifted the suspension imposed earlier this month. Perhaps the only media outlet for Afghanistan's girls and women is working again. The Taliban's raid on the offices of Radio Begum in Kabul on the 5th of February had threatened to derail activities. As part of a broader crackdown on media outlets collaborating with foreign organizations, Radio Begum was charged with violation of terms of its license. Detentions and confiscations had taken place. The reversal came after the station pledged to adhere to the Taliban's version of principles of journalism, a readiness to comply with regulations laid down by the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Does that mean core objectives are lost? Since their takeover, the Taliban has excluded women from education, working to earn a living, and even from public spaces. Journalists, especially women, have lost their jobs. A 2024 Press Freedom Index from Reporters Without Borders ranks Afghanistan at 178 out of 180 countries. It was 152nd a year before. Radio Begum has looked to ease the blow. The core focus of broadcasts is lessons for girls barred from secondary and higher education, besides discussions on women's rights and social issues. And it hopes to keep at it even under the restrictions. Is the Radio Begum example an extension of at least a couple of voices within the Taliban who in recent days have urged a softening? First, Taliban's Deputy Foreign Minister Stanigzai, then Deputy Interior Minister Nabi Omeri had spoken out. Both had warned of the dangers of throttling education rights for women, saying restrictions imposed went beyond Sharia. So is Radio Begum a ray of hope that houses seeds of better things? There can be no denying the first inklings of repair in regressive Taliban mindsets. Can internal and global pressures push them to further corrections?
Our next story is the curious case of the ghostly Gwadar International Airport in Pakistan. This Chinese-funded airport, which costed $240 million, was completed in October last year itself. However, there appears to be no passengers, no planes, and no sign of business. Take a look at the history of this ghostly terminal.
On the 20th of January, a Pakistan International Airlines flight landed at the Chinese-funded Gwadar International Airport. This was the first commercial aircraft that signaled the official launch of Pakistan's most expensive airport. However, conspicuous by their absence were Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and his Chinese counterpart Li Qiang, who instead hosted a virtual ceremony. To the media and public, the inaugural flight was strictly off limits. The inauguration of the international airport, ready since October last year, had been delayed on account of security concerns. It was feared that the area's mountains in close proximity to the airport could be an ideal launch pad for an attack. Spanning over 430 acres of land, the airport's runway is capable of accommodating large aircraft such as the Airbus A380 and Boeing 747. But even after the inauguration, there are no planes, no passengers. Gwadar Terminal has turned into a ghost terminal. Built for $240 million by China, the swanky airport, meant to be a gateway to opportunities, cuts a rather forlorn figure in the impoverished, restive southwestern Balochistan province. For a city of 90,000 people, an airport with a 400,000 passenger capacity itself is a confounding idea. Local residents complain that the development projects in Gwadar, both at the non-functional Gwadar airport and the close-by Gwadar port, have not turned the fortunes of locals.
The port has been around for 20 years, and now the international airport has been constructed, but not one person from Gwadar has been employed there. Not even as a watchman. Forget the other jobs.
The developmental projects here have not benefited anyone. People haven't gotten jobs, the airport is non-functional, and there is a port, but there is no work there. If there is no work, how will people get jobs? We want them to initiate projects here so that the natives find work, and it counters the hopelessness felt by the youth.
Over the past decade, Beijing has poured hundreds of millions of dollars into the coastal city of Gwadar as part of the multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, that connects its western Xinjiang province to Pakistan's coastline.
The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor began its inclusion in the year 2014-2015. Recognizing the role of Gwadar in regional connectivity and economic development, the authorities of CPEC prioritized the establishment of this modern airport to provide an important connection between Pakistan and the world.
Though Pakistan authorities have hailed the CPEC project as transformational, residents claim there's scant evidence of any change in Gwadar. Even the basic necessities of electricity and water are not covered. With the city still not connected to the national grid, the residents of Gwadar are heavily dependent on neighboring Iran or solar panels, not to mention the shortage of clean water. Islamabad, in order to protect the Chinese investments, has stepped up its military footprint in Gwadar. However, the insurgency has steadily climbed up since 2021. Reports of forced disappearances and torture, though denied by the government, have people on the edge. Fond memories of a bygone era. In a land besieged with such pressing concerns, the Gwadar International Airport is being viewed as a privileged project, meant to secure access for the Chinese nationals working in insurgency-afflicted Balochistan province. But the reality is completely different. Will this project prove to be a costly gamble for China?
Up next, let's take a look at a few of the stories that have made headlines on our Inside South Asia wrap.
India's capital, New Delhi, hosted the first ever Women Peacekeeping Conference on the 24th and 25th of February. The landmark conference, termed Women in Peacekeeping, a global South perspective, brought together women, peacekeepers from 35 troop-contributing countries, Organized by the Government of India and the Center for United Nations Peacekeeping, it highlighted the need for greater female participation and leadership in peace missions worldwide. Gender parity in peacekeeping, especially among leaders and uniformed personnel, has long been a priority for the United Nations. Countries of the Global South are the largest troop contributors to UN peacekeeping, with India at the forefront.
That work in each thing, and so that improving the situational awareness.
Bangladesh Interim Government's Information Advisor Nahid Islam has resigned from the cabinet to launch a new political party. He was one of the key leaders of the students' movement that toppled the Awami League regime led by Sheikh Hasina in July 2024. After submitting his resignation letter to Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus, Islam in a media briefing said the rise of a new political force is necessary in the current situation in the country. He said he resigned from the advisory council to remain on the streets to consolidate the mass uprising. Nahid Islam was holding 2 portfolios of information and broadcasting and post and telecommunications in the council. Meanwhile, Bangladesh Army Chief General has warned that law and order situation in the country is rapidly worsening.
US President Donald Trump has said that he wants to recover billions of dollars worth of equipment American troops left in Afghanistan following their 2021 withdrawal from the country. Soon after his comment, the Taliban responded to Trump's renewed call for the return of $7 billion worth of military equipment that was left behind in Afghanistan during the 2021 US military withdrawal. Afghan spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid said, and I quote, "Let no one think that they can give orders to Afghanistan. We are not under the control or administration of any other country. The weapons left behind by American forces now belong to our people in Afghanistan. The weapons left behind by the Americans are spoils of war and the rightful property of the Afghan people. If anyone wants to take them from us, we will respond using those very weapons."
South Asia has been stepped in colors this week in levels that are unprecedented for the celebration of Maha Shivratri. From immersing in the holy dip for the Maha Kumbh Mela happening in Prayagraj to the Pashupatinath temple in Nepal to the Vishwanath Mandir in Varanasi. Take a look at these festivities.
Today is the last day of Kumbh. We have come here to take the last holy dip, and we are extremely lucky to be able to do it in the sacred Ganga River. We do not know when we will ever get a chance to attend Kumbh again.
ये सब के मिल के अब कुंभ मेला से यहाँ आया है बाबा का दर्शन के लिए।
The greatest Hindu festival, Maha Shivratri, is being observed here in the Pashupatinath temple in Kathmandu. Devotees from across the country, even from neighboring India and other parts of the world, have gathered here to celebrate these auspicious occasions by offerings, chanting bhajans, and by visiting different temples of Lord Shiva.
The Academy